Canada is a stunning nation that offers immigrants many chances to advance both personally and professionally. But as living costs rise, more people are leaving Canada than ever before for a variety of reasons. Many of them are citizens of Canada and permanent residents already. This video can assist newcomers who are intending to visit Canada in adopting the right mentality and understanding reasonable expectations for their time there. In today's video, we will talk about why people are leaving Canada, so make sure to watch the video till the end. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos we upload. Having irrational and lofty expectations. Certain tourists arrive in Canada with higher expectations. They look up YouTube videos and think that living in Canada is the best. It isn't. Canada is not a perfect country. No place is. It's absurd to anticipate landing a job right away or buying a fancy house in the first year. It all takes time, and you will eventually reach your objectives. Most people are aware of how difficult it is to succeed in this circumstance, at job or in life. Things do not always go as planned in Canada, so you should be prepared for any setbacks. Sadly though, people frequently fall short of their lofty aspirations and either give up or move on, failing to land the ideal job. Though not all immigrants are successful in getting the career they desire, many arrive in Canada with great expectations. Nonetheless, a lot of immigrants think that because they previously worked for a multinational company, it would be simple for them to obtain the same employment in Canada. In Canada, you might get fantastic work. Most of the time, you might not locate the precise job you are seeking for or have held in the past. Even if you have years of expertise in your home country, it could still take you 1 to 3 years to obtain a job in your industry. It also depends on where and when you search for work after arriving in Canada. It's not the end of the world if you can't find work in your field. Other sectors of the economy, like retail or dining, offer jobs that pay at least the minimum wage to cover necessities. You run the risk of not finding the job you want if you plan to relocate to Canada, but with persistence, hard work, and Canadian experience, you can succeed. There's also a slim chance that your company will offer you a lower salary scale in an attempt to take advantage of your lack of Canadian job experience. Thus, the key is experience in Canada. Enduring the chilly conditions. In Canada, 6 to 7 months of the year are bitterly cold, with 2 to 3 months in particular seeing lows in Ontario of -25 to -30 degrees. It's colder in Saskatchewan and other northern provinces. It can get very chilly in Canada for almost half the year. For instance, Ontario may see temperatures as low as -25 to -30 degrees for a few months, particularly around January. Furthermore, northern provinces like Saskatchewan and Alberta have colder temperatures. Consequently, a lot of people from warm climates have difficulties in the winter. Although the first year is the roughest, you eventually get used to it. If at all feasible, steer clear of visiting Canada during the winter. Many people are unaware of how frigid Canada can become, since they have never experienced temperatures this low. Many individuals get discouraged by winter because of the weather, which causes many to leave Canada. Increasing your participation in winter sports like hockey, ice skating, skiing, and snowboarding is one way to address this problem. Having trouble making ends meet. It's critical to realize that not everyone in Canada is affluent. Despite the country being a fantastic location to live, money accumulation is not easy. The cost of groceries and gas has climbed recently, contributing to a major spike in inflation in Canada. It is difficult since you will have to pay a large amount of taxes and spend a large amount of money on the settlement. If you believe that you can immigrate to Canada and become incredibly wealthy very quickly, you are very mistaken. There will be a lot of work for you, which some individuals find intolerable. Some begin to consider leaving the country because they believe it to be too difficult. It's important to keep in mind not to get despondent though. The majority of people living in this nation are successful, and it is still a land of opportunity. Many prosperous immigrants have achieved great wealth only by moving to Canada, demonstrating that they are willing to put in the necessary time and effort to develop and adapt to the nation. Having homesickness. Being away from home is challenging. For immigrants, seeing their loved ones on an airplane isn't always an option. You might not always have the time or money to get back home. Not to add that before they may bring their families, a large number of immigrants arrive in Canada alone. The majority of these individuals feel alone and alienated. Every now and then, they have to say farewell to their parents, spouses, and kids who live back home. It might be difficult to relocate to a new country where you know no one. It may be a compelling argument for a recent immigrant to leave Canada. Hard to get started again. It is rarely enjoyable for anyone to start anew. It's important to realize, though, that you might have to start over in Canada, even if you have a managerial job back home. While prior experience is definitely advantageous, it does not guarantee that you will immediately get a managerial role. Finding everything right away after landing is unrealistic. You can grow and discover new opportunities once you have some Canadian experience. But the most important thing is to persevere through difficulties, especially in the beginning. Many people experience depression and are unable to start over and make improvements in their life as a result of struggling under pressure, having medical problems. In Canada, even the healthiest individuals occasionally receive a grave medical diagnosis. It might make more sense for them to obtain the therapy in Canada with the support of friends and family, even though they could get it elsewhere. In addition, they might have to go back home to take care of their aging parents or a family member who has a critical disease. They can sponsor their parent in this situation, but not everyone is eligible to sponsor, and the application procedure takes a long time. Pricey rents and real estate. Certain Canadian cities have relatively expensive real estate. For instance, if you go to Toronto or Vancouver, you should budget between $2 and $3 million for a little property. People often save for the house of their dreams, especially in big cities like Toronto and Vancouver, despite working very hard. This problem affects not just immigrants, but also a large number of Canadians who find it difficult to afford the exorbitant cost of housing in Canada's main cities. In a similar vein, rents are rising in tandem with Canada's rising housing demand and widespread difficulties in locating reasonably priced housing. Costly medical and public health care. In Canada, public health care is provided at no cost, although it is not comprehensive. Recall that you are the one who must buy any prescription medications. Additionally, dentists are not covered by the public health system. Therefore, if you need complex treatments, you should budget a large sum of money. It might be less expensive to schedule a flight, go home, and get dental work done sometimes. Another fascinating fact is that, depending on the circumstance, visiting the nurse is usually done first in Canada and then the doctor. For instance, your doctor will see you for 10 minutes if you're sick before prescribing medication to treat your condition. In addition, scheduling an appointment for medical care often involves lengthy waits. You may have to wait for 3 to 4 hours, even if you need to visit the emergency department. This brings us to the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time!